I feel like that's how I fix things if I don't know what to do. Just turn them all up, see what happens.
I'm a
Process of
big
elimination.
unplug it, blow into it, replug it in. gal.
Exactly.
Personally.
Exactly.
I come from the time of the Nintendos. But I've brought some
Why do I
things
look
with
like a Cocker Spaniel? Hold on one second. Why do I look like I look like a Cocker Spaniel?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think of what a Cocker Spaniel even looks like, honestly.
It happens. It happens to all of us.
But I don't think you look like one.
If you know, you know.
I think my part and your part is in a central place that my husband almost probably said something about it, but he didn't.
He knows
he
better
left.
now.
He fixed our computer problems and he left.
He left.
He's a good husband.
Which is exactly what we wanted him to do.
He's a good employee here at Stay Rooted. And I brought some things for the class today.
Wow.
So there's a few things I'm not going to show you, and it's a half a bag of cashews.
Okay.
And a cheese stick, and not a lot of a Slim Jim. But I'm not going to show you that. That's not what I brought you here today. I brought you to tell you an immersive story, a prop.
Oh my God. A
So
story
as you
time.
know, a story time. I work in healthcare.
Still.
Don't mark me safe yet.
It should always be still at the end of your resume.
Yeah, and I'd like to lead with this is an unpaid ad because I still have to work in healthcare. Ads, whoever the people are that give paid ads.
Miss Ads.
Miss Ads, I hope you feel bad about yourself. So I bought something off of the Amazon, and it was recommended to me, and then now when things are recommended to me, then there's just like reels and TikToks about them instantly. Like they're not even discreet about it.
No.
They're like, here's a live review of the thing you just looked up. You know, like we're watching, you know it, you're fine with it.
Yes.
So one of the things that has been just a problem in my life is my forehead because I have a 3-year-old. Okay. I've never felt really like great about my forehead, and like, I don't know, it's not something that I'm like willing to do anything about, but now I live with a 3-year-old bully who literally just points at it and it's like, why are there so many lines on your forehead?
Stop.
Do your kids ever do that to you? They're like,
Oh my God.
why are you so painfully ugly?
All of the time. Nora does that all the time.
You.
Lukey would never. Lukey looks at me like I'm the most beautiful person to walk this planet. Nora will literally look at me like, that's what you're wearing today?
So
and it's just my face.
I feel like I am so blessed that my 8-year-old realizes how down I'm being put that she's like, you're cool, Mom. You're a princess. She's like, but you do have a lot of lines on your forehead, and some of them are whiter than your brown skin. That was the feedback I got. Okay, so you're like, okay, I feel really good about this, right?
Lizzo wrote, truth hurts,
Okay, so I find this, okay?
She has frownies.
Okay. So I find this forehead patch. This is an adhesive forehead patch.
Is it reusable?
Okay. It's reusable. All right. I'm going to put it
gorgeous.
on. It's gorgeous. All right.
You look beautiful, Lauren.
So the rules, the instructions. I hate instructions, honestly. This is honestly, if there's ever a reason to get the visual on Stay Rooted, I'm giving you it.
I think we've lost her.
Rudies that aren't watching me on YouTube. Rudies that don't respect our YouTube. I have a freaking adhesive forehead patch on my head right now, okay?
Forehead. I had no idea she was going to go this far down today. So she said she goes, I can start. Okay.
So but wait, there's more.
Okay.
So you're supposed to like press on it. It's reusable. It comes with this cute little tin. ASMR.
Oh, ASMR.
If you're not watching, you're listening. It's Bayside. I don't know what that means, but the reviews were great. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like that there's little white lines where my brown skin meets, like my kid said, so add to cart. And you gave me a reckless $75, Stephanie, for watching your animals. So
Stop it. You deserved it.
I'm buying this forehead patch. I feel like you're barely looking at me. So wait.
I'm looking up the link.
Link it below in the comments.
I am done. I am done.
Like and subscribe if you want this forehead patch. Once
I
again,
kind
these
of
people,
do.
this is not sponsored by Bayside. This is sponsored by Stephani
By me and my chickens.
and her chickens. So now, wait, the plot thickens. So look at me. Look at me in my eyes, Stephani. So I look like this. I don't even know what this is.
She's yelling at me.
And I work in healthcare, okay? So now I realize, at first I put this on and I say, oh, what is it, 20
At work?
minutes?
At
No,
work?
no. I put it on at bedtime because I'm doing a
Okay.
little self-care. Sorry, I didn't set
Sure.
the scene properly. So
Sure.
I'm doing self-care. I'm mourning the loss of Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm like, what shall I do? I put on my new deep puffer stuff under my eyes, and then I
Yes.
slap this bad Larry on, okay?
Of course, you're excited.
Honestly, I kind of look like Wonder Woman right now
It,
in my own
honestly,
delusion.
it's giving Mother Marvel. Stop. No, I'm done. If you literally just were wearing a bodysuit that was also that color of
That
like
still
mint
said leave me
green.
alone on it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's my
I
whole
love that.
superpower.
I love that for you.
I'm a social distancing superhero. So,
I can't with you right now. So how long did they tell you to keep it on?
So then I'm on call, so I'm like, I'm gonna throw this on for the 20 minutes that I assume it's supposed to be on. No, I read the instructions that are so conveniently located via QR code, and it says all night. You sleep with this bad Larry on.
Stop
okay?
it.
You know, beauty is pain. So I'm like, I probably won't get called in, right? I work at a trauma center. It's a Friday night in the summer.
It's not that serious.
So I go to bed. Beep, 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 beep. Startled awake, right? It's like, I don't know, 50 o'clock. It's the middle of the night, okay?
Give or take.
I call the operator back because this is the business I got in, and I'm like, I'll be right there in 30
You have to call them
minutes.
back? You don't just pick up?
No, I have to call back the operator, the person that paged me, and say, I'm
you have
on my way,
beeper.
squad. Yeah. And it's just beeping. And then I'm like, Justice League. Okay. Wait.
No.
So I only have 30 minutes to get ready, like come to terms with the life I've chose and put myself in the car and get to where I need to be. So I get in the car. No, I don't get in the car yet, right? I'm about to open the door and I'm like, shoot, where are my keys?
Always.
I pass a mirror, Stephani.
No.
I pass a mirror. I'm fully dressed in my nursing costume. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to leave, and I still had this fucking thing on my head.
Stop it.
And I had so many intrusive thoughts about arriving to, because I had gone to the pool that day. So as you know, you go to the pool, right? And like, I am a lizard in the sun. I'm like,
yeah,
like,
you're rotting. Rotting.
I have no good advice when it comes to sun safety for myself.
No.
I know about it, but I want to bake on this earth, you know? So I'm just in the sun. So I'm like, oh, my forehead is taut from the sun, right? Was literally the only sensation of this I had on my forehead at that point.
Stop.
But imagine if I arrived to work a whole professional adult and I looked like Mother Marvel.
I literally wish you did, because do you kind of like the way it feels? Like it's a nice pressure?
So I'm kind of into it. I don't like taking it off. I just got my bangs caught in it. So now I threw it. I threw it like you do a chicken cutlet.
She's gorgeous.
Look at is she a baby?
So dewy.
But so then I took it off, right, Rudy's, and I threw it into my bathroom. Not to know that I wasn't going to be home till the morning. And I threw it in the way you throw like chicken cutlets at the end of a wedding, you know, like I'm done with these, but this is reusable. So I had to like gather it and clean it the next day. But I have a counter story. So now I'm at work, right? My forehead's fucking gleaming. You know, everyone's like, what?
You know? You look younger.
Nobody's saying anything about my forehead, but
you look younger.
My last patient of the night. Now I've been on call for 8 hours and inside of the building taking the call for like most of it, you know,
yes.
for 50 of it.
Yes.
and it's sun up now. I'm almost done. And I have this sweet young patient, right? And me and her just talking, and she's like, "Can I ask you like an invasive question?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "How old are you?" She's like, "Because you know how old I am." And she's like, "I just feel," she literally said like,
Fair.
she's like, "I feel like you've like said a lot of things. You've had a lot of like life, and I thought you were like 22."
Stop.
I rubbed my forehead. I said, "I hadn't slept all night, okay? And maybe she had propofol on board, okay? Maybe that was skewing her
A
judgment."
heavy dose of Ativan, but so
I'm not
what?
going to direct
So
quote
what?
her. I'm not
Who
the
isn't?
newspaper. You know, it's HIPAA. But this 20-something-year-old said, "I thought you were 22." And I said, "Ma'am, that's my forehead patch. I
Put that
should have
on the
worn it."
Amazon review. Put that on the Amazon review. If they don't sponsor us after that story,
After all of that, that's like, that was basically an infomercial. 100%
literally,
success.
if you
And
made it through the
honestly,
first 11 minutes of this episode, it was one big infomercial for forehead patches.
for Bayside head patches.
And honestly, like,
Literally, all they have to do is give me a free one of these and I'll wear it to work.
and it would be worth, and literally we'll wear it every single episode. Just send us
But
a
there
package.
is, so I thought I was bamboozled a little bit because I'm like one of those people that I don't spend my money on skincare, you know? Like, I'm still using eyeshadow palettes from when I cared about buying eyeshadow palettes.
Yeah, I
You
feel like I'm a
know?
mix of those things. Like, I definitely have things that are, from earlier decades, but I also then will like throw in like, I'm like, oh, well, I have Bioma. Everybody has Bioma, but then I'll have like
Yeah.
a naked palette from 2008,
Well, and that's the thing is that like 2008 me had Mimi's back because like I can't afford a naked palette now, but at the time she was like, "I'm Sephora Platinum."
You're like, I have a Sephora credit card and only a Sephora credit card. Of course, I'm going to get the naked 2 palette.
Yeah, and you're like, "Of course I closed that Sephora credit card, you know, and dug
Eventually.
from its ruins, you know."
Yeah.
But like now I still use the same naked palette from 2008. But
It
that's
giveth
my
and it
little,
taketh.
that's my, so I was bamboozled and I thought that this was like a mask that you like used once and it made you beautiful. I don't know. I think
Well,
there's
clearly
things out,
it's something.
it is definitely doing something, but I think the science is that it just clings to your forehead all night like a fucking octopi, and then you rip it off of your head in the morning, you know, in
Isn't
a
it
barbaric
funny
way.
how,
And it
like,
sort of just puffs out your face for the day.
but it's like the more disgusting they make things sound, for some reason, the better I decide it is for me. I'm like, well, it has snail mucus in it. Obviously, it's going to make me gorgeous.
Well, because
You know?
aren't you kind of like, my whole thing that I always revert back to is like, we're all just really fancy cavemen. So, you know, like they were probably rubbing snail poop on their face and it made them beautiful.
And
you
if it
know?
works for them, why isn't it going to work for me? So, like, I'll say something and it's like, vanilla bean. I'm like, I don't need vanilla bean. But then they're like, the mucus of one blind-eyed snail. And I'm like, I need that. I'm like, I literally, and it's in a black bottle
Yeah,
with a
well, 'cause
natural
whenever
colored
it's
label.
whenever it's like a tricerapeptide, you're like, I don't know, that sounds like it was made
That's
by a
my
really
favorite
bad guy.
dinosaur. I love that
That sounds
dino.
like it was made in a lab by a bad. But when they're like,
Literally.
it's the roots. It's the roots of the orange beets. You're like, it's got to be good for me. Rub it
So
in my eyes.
when you're talking about the like reusable forehead patches, it made me think of the boob covers, the nipple covers. We all know them. And I went on a vacation. So, like, I'm trying to, live my summer life. So I'm just trying to be free and be me. But I'm, like, also not trying to, like, pop a nip, at the family vacation.
You
So-
saw the way your whole family saw the way I taped my boobs.
Yeah, they
And
did.
not because I showed
Sorry.
them, because I sent you a photo, and then your
If
sister
you
was
think
like,
my sisters aren't going to look.
"Damn."
My sister wasn't even there. My sisters weren't there.
Carrie
Okay.
was like, "Don't you worry, Kenny. Your wife isn't falling out of that dress."
Yeah, and the thing with my sisters too is like we're so comfortable with everything having to do with ourselves. Actually, Courtney isn't. We force it upon her, but Carrie and I will literally just be like, "Look at this."
But do you ever
Look
do
at this.
something as a woman like that? Like you tape flowers over your nipples, and then you tape like this fucking, I don't even know. It's like bandage tape so that your
Yeah.
boobs just stay inside your dress, and then you tape them across again, and you really have like a full shirt of tape on, and then you go
Yeah.
out and your husband's just like in his underpants scrolling on his phone, and you're like, I just taped my
I
entire
hate you.
body.
I get it. Well, another thing I was going to say is one jump scare for me is sometimes when I put on the covers and then I'm like getting ready for bed, I'm getting dressed haphazardly, it's late, and I see myself in the mirror and I'm like, the fuck happened to my boobs? They're black.
See, I'm the type of wife that I start taking that shit off in the car, and then I just like am sticking my boob tape to the dashboard because I'm a
Stop.
gross person.
I'm just like forgetful. I'm like, ah!
I'm like, I want this off of me now. Who cares if my boob falls out?
But I love being a
know?
woman.
Oh yeah, but that was why I needed to show another woman what I was going
Yes.
through. Because when my husband was like, "What the hell did you just do?" I'm like, "This is what I have to do
Yeah.
to enjoy my time and
Do you
make
think
sure
I
that
want
my
to do
nipple
this?
doesn't just gander out the bottom of my dress."
It's not that kind of
know?
party.
It's not that kind of party, and they don't make shapewear to
They
accommodate
don't.
this.
They don't make it
literally
in that shape. So
someone called Kim Kardashian about this, but that was the opposite of an infomercial for Skims.
I literally, so I went on vacation and we didn't even get to talk about it last week because we got so, I think, excited talking about the wedding. And it was obviously very,
We
very
also
exciting.
just hadn't talked to each other because you were on vacation. So
We
there's
talked
like
about
this.
hey for like 40 minutes beforehand.
We also hadn't talked to each other at all, and now I've seen you like 4 times, and I'm like, enough. We got it.
Enough. Enough. Tell me your little silly little stories.
But
I haven't really talked to you about my trip though.
There's this part of going on a trip that I love, but there's this part of being the person that's not on the trip that I hate because I'm like, I want to tell you everything. I don't want to catch up with you on my fucking mundane life. Like, I want to tell you in real time.
Yes.
So I was just sending you messages, and every once in a while you were like, LOL, Lauren, you're fine.
And I
have to say, I'm here to take the stand on
Okay.
Beth. I am a way worse friend on vacation than you are.
You are. Communication wise.
Communication wise.
I will pat myself on the back for that because I won't check in much, but I will check in every day. I'll just be like,
you would send
here's
me a
a
picture of your
picture.
children. You would send me a
Yes.
little blurb. You'd send me a voice memo once in a while.
And I'm thinking of you.
Yeah. I
I'm
go
a
on
nice
vacation
friend like that.
and you're like, Lauren, I swear to God, I will call the Florida police. They won't do anything.
I literally am gonna call fucking Walt. I'm calling Walt right now. I know they have his body frozen somewhere.
But I loved that. So I did love and also you were with a large group, so I felt like I could
Yes.
creep on your trip a little bit because when
Ooh.
you're with a large when you're with a large group, you're
Yes.
tagged and stuff. So even though
Of
you weren't
course.
posting a lot, there was people around you that were.
I was out and about. This is my first like all inclusive, vacation resort. I felt the second I had a balcony and there were white robes in the closet, I was like, I'm better than everybody.
So-
you immediately.
I'm so jealous because I feel like the last and the bulk of my time that I enjoyed these types of vacations, I was an over entitled teenager, you know.
Yes.
So I felt like the white robes were owed to me. You know?
Yeah.
I felt like, yeah, you better make me a fucking kangaroo tonight on my bed and not a swan, with a towel.
Like I already saw that swan, the monkey.
I'm sure that's how your daughter felt by night 3. She's like, oh,
well,
because you start being treated like a queen and you're like, I'm a queen. But now I feel like as a
vacation
parent,
we did was a cruise, Lauren. The cruise rooms were size of a closet. So
Yeah.
my kids walked into this palace and they were like, we've made it. This is This is gorgeous. They all of a sudden became
were like,
entitled.
Where
too.
is the soft serve machines? You know,
It's not in the room.
and I loved that feeling, but I just feel like I would have such more of a respect for it as an adult with children.
You do. There's something about that after sun shower where you put on a robe and sit on your balcony for 30 seconds. You pretend you don't have a family in there. You close the curtain and you sit and look at a palm tree. And I was like, I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think I might be
but
okay.
There's something to be said about so me and my husband have been on vacation, just the two of us, or little trips, and we've been on big vacations as families.
Yes.
But there's something to be said about the trip that, like, you're just at a resort and, like, you just have, like, this little bracelet. Like, it's not a fucking magic band that you're chasing the magic, you know? And
How
you're
odd
trying to keep
it was.
up with the band. It's just like we're going to eat over here, and then we're going to lay
not
at this
carry
pool.
a wallet.
And then we're just going to eat over here, and then we're going to lay in this pool. Like, it's such my husband's kind of not that type of traveler.
But neither am I, typically. Neither am I, typically.
Are you like
I don't like to be hot.
Find an adventure and, like, let's look in museums and let's keep changing.
Literally, and I just like to explore, and I'm not able to, like, physically explore the way that I typically would, like, in the early morning hours.
So that is my husband. He wants to, you know, like, see every square inch of where we go.
Yes.
So I feel like an all-inclusive to him. Even a cruise. When we went on a cruise, he was like, all right, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do today on the boat? And I'm like, what if we just ate vanilla ice cream and baked
saw
in the
jazz
sun?
show. Saw the nice
and our
jazz
2-year-old
show.
saw Mickey wave at her 8 times, you know? I feel like that'd be fine, you know?
That's enough for me.
We've got to do the adventures. And I was like, I don't want to, Grandpa.
I get that. But there's
I feel
something
like that
there.
All-inclusive of just, like, and also you were with a large group, which just obviously hypes it up even more because
exactly,
an adventure vacation with a large group, you know, it can get a little dicey.
No
Sitting in a pool eating spaghetti like you were with like what 20 of your closest friends,
20
except
of my
for
closest
me.
friends of literally everybody except you.
Before you say anything nice about your trip, I'd like you to know there was a point where Stephani said, I don't want to bring my family. I want to bring you. And I said, the pod would talk.
The pod would talk.
The pod would say, what kind of support group is
talk.
this? They're leaving their family.
They're running away to the Dominican together.
And that's when we do a live episode there and say, guys, the
wearing
support
a lot
group didn't work. It's fine.
Wearing a lot of sheen dresses.
Everyone
they be
come
wearing.
to Punta Cana. We have extra sheen dresses. Steph ordered 8 of each.
Don't you fucking dare right now. I'll stop giving you my mistakes.
My favorite part of Steph's vacation was her panicking that she didn't order. No, that she ordered clothes because we've all been there. Like, you're like, all right,
I'm in late.
You know, this vacation's on the line of Temu. And, like, you're like, we're just going to get a disposable wardrobe. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
You know?
It's fine.
And then it's like, oh, out for delivery for the past 8 days. And you're like, no, it's not.
It'll be here between tomorrow and Halloween. And I'm like, perfect. Can't wait.
And each day goes by and it's like maybe New Year's, you know, and then all of a sudden it's at your door and you're like, why did you do that to me? But
so I duplicated a couple shirts.
Steph was spiraling out of control. She double ordered shirts. She's like, here, your shirts are on the bed. I'm like, what?
I didn't even want to do it to your face. I didn't even want to, like, do it to your face. Like, I'm like, here's a full set that I ordered 2 of.
But then the first day I saw you after your vacation, there was one more shirt that I didn't realize I ordered a duplicate of. Here you go.
And I've got many a compliment on that shirt, so you're welcome.
So we all could have been in Punta Cana together, Rudy's, wearing
you just
matching
needed a plane
Shein
ticket.
shirts. But instead, Steph brought her family, and I was like, whatever.
And it was like, we talked last week about Court's wedding and how she's just like, she likes to be around her people. Her and Tyler both do. They love a big group vacation. That's how their friend group is. That's how both of our families are, which is now like a blended family. So, in very Courtney and Tyler fashion, they were like, we're going to the Dominican. If you guys want to come, like, please come. And so a ton of us did. And I have to say, hot take, a fabulous idea because let me be clear. Me and my husband, when we don't have kids, travel very well together. Very well, you know? And even when we do, we still travel pretty well together.
Yeah.
But I do find that, like, sometimes you do want a little time with your friends or your family or your significant other. And I loved that there were like so many different times during the trip where I was like, okay, I'm having family time. Now Luke and the kids are tired. I'm going to go hang out with Court and her friends. And it was just like, it felt
Yeah.
like the celebration carried on into the vacation. So couple that with just like all you can eat food and then a pool every 5 feet so that no one's ever on top of you. Chef's kiss.
Beautiful.
Chef's kiss.
So growing up, I was definitely always traveling with like a group of my family.
Yes.
And I feel
us
like
too.
my cousins, my aunts, they were always there. And there is like this idea that you just want to be like with your nuclear core sometimes. Like you're like,
Yes.
we're always with everybody. We're always chasing the next party, the next event. But there are
Yes.
strength in numbers. Like
Yes.
I feel
God.
like, they're like, find your village and you're like, and bring them to Disney,
And bring them to Disney. No, like,
because I just feel like you said, like there's so many spin-offs of the group. And you
yes.
don't always have to all be together. Because that's the thing. If you
No.
go with like one other couple, it's like if you're not together, then you're
just not
apart.
being together. You're choosing to not
But
hang
if
out or
there's
hang out.
30 of you, you
You
can
just bump into each other
restructure.
at the pool bar,
You're restructuring in a way that an MTV reality show would be proud. Like they're like, ooh, a
100%.
little 6-group dinner. Ooh, a little
100%.
10-group pool. Ooh, everybody at the dance night. And like, and it's just.
And there's
fun,
just certain
for
things
sure.
that call to the group that people just tend to go to. And one of them, I have a few things that I need to talk about, things I've never done. Let's start with the silent disco. Have you ever done this?
So I have done this. And I feel like the last time I did it was on a cruise.
So it's never happened to me before. I've never been ambushed by a silent disco, but one of the
I don't
nights.
like it.
Well, listen, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So
I'm here to put my hot take on the table.
Everyone's like, silent disco tonight. I'm like, be there,
It's like the
whatever.
loudest fucking disco of your life because it's just in your ears.
So it wasn't even that. When I had the headphones on, there were 2 different stations. So you could kind of see which groups were dancing to which songs and which groups were dancing to others.
Right? Is that with these silent discos, you're doing them in a place that's kind of like commercial and streamlined. I'm doing a Royal Caribbean one. I'm not doing one at, I'm not invited to a Coachella version of it.
Exactly.
So you're really picking from two stations or 3 stations. And like you said, they're like vastly different that you like kind of know who's
dancing
to
what. And like in natural girl fashion, we form a circle around each other. We make sure we're all on the same channel and we're dancing. Well, don't you make the mistake of taking off your goddamn headphones. Don't do it. Because once you take those little magical headphones off, you just begin to lose faith in humanity. Like you look around and you just see people without the music. It was actually the most painful thing I think I've ever had to look at in my life.
I was gonna say, and you mean you're not at Dancing with the Stars either. So you're like, these are some people that just vibe back. There are some people that just kind of move to music and they get by. They get by with a shuffler. Like, but when there's no music, You just look like a
And
mom by themselves in the Target pickup line. You know, I mean the
literally.
Target checkout
So-
line. You're like doing the mom sway.
I
But-
will say it was fun in it. Like, we were having fun, but the second I unveiled myself, it could not be unseen what I had saw. Like, I was like, I hate this.
So I just can't get behind a silent disco because I don't want to be silent.
You're too loud.
You know?
You're too loud. Moms against
literally-
silent discos.
I literally just don't want to be silent, and you have to take them off to talk, and then you also have to like antagonize. You're like, take off your headphone, like you to talk to them.
Yes.
So you're ruining someone else's time, and
But I
hate
have a
that feeling.
modification. I had a modification because I was like, I don't think we should lose all of this here because I love a headphone. I like a loud music in my ear. What about post bedtime, right? Post bedtime, silent discos. You and your husband lock in on some music. You're cleaning the house and you're just like, you know, it's just you two. So it's not seeing groups of people dancing around each other. It's a post bedtime silent disco.
How would my husband laugh at all my little silly stories if he's at
Maybe
a
I
silent
just want-
disco?
I don't know. I just don't think they're for you, Lauren.
I think maybe a post-shift silent disco would be for me. That'd be a post-shift silent disco.
a
for me,
post shifts. See, maybe there's
is
just
what
a
I could
specific.
get.
This
It's
hair
a
is
niche
bothering
time
me.
for me. Not when I'm on vacation with 30 of my family members. That's not when I want a silent disco. And I just hate loud music. So I never am really a big headphone
And
gal. So
sometimes
maybe I'm the
medium
wrong
music.
audience.
I do.
But I wouldn't I wouldn't jump for a silent disco, you know.
So the
It's not
thing
my
that I
cup
know
of
you
tea.
will be fully on board with, because obviously at an all-inclusive, the food is included, which is the highlight of it all. But like, eating entails going to a restaurant, you know?
Yes.
Well, the best part, 24-hour room service, aka
yes.
room DoorDash
yes,
for free.
yes. And this is where I say I abused that. Me and my little brother used to order like
Animals.
a cookie.
No.
We'd be like, "Come bring us a cookie." Like, what the
Lord.
fuck? Those are
There's
working
this-
people.
There was one day I was like, our dinner reservation is at 6:30. So I'm like, I'm just gonna order a little room service while we get ready for dinner, you know, just to keep the kids full. I
Yeah,
order
you're like, a
mashed
plate of-
potatoes, a Caesar salad, a pizza, spaghetti. Like, it's just like a fucking small piece of cheesecake.
Yeah, you're like, there aren't people starving.
It's so sick.
It's
and
Marie Antoinette.
it's literally, you become, it's just like, you're like, I'm gonna eat my money's worth, you know, money.
You're like, let them eat cake if they can if they can
Exactly.
afford the bracelet.
But the time I want to bring to light a very, very fond memory of mine. So Luke and I had our anniversary the day that we flew to Punta Cana, and nobody wants to celebrate their wedding anniversary on a fucking airplane. I'll tell you that right now, with your two small
Everybody
children.
does. Everybody does. The airplanes are getting such good raps right now.
Our flight was delayed so many times. My husband all of a sudden was like, I think my passport might expire too close. And it was like, we're not going. It was feeling we're not going the day of our anniversary. Like, every checkpoint we made, I was like, well, the next one they're going to say, never mind, you know?
I know.
It,
and
it
as
felt
you
like
were,
that.
As you were sorting out your Shein dupes, you were like,
I was like,
you
and
were
we're not
like-
going.
you were like, honestly, my family's having the worst time right now, but we're gonna have the best time. And I was like, you are so
I'm so delusional.
manic.
I was like, if I can make it to tomorrow, I think I'll be okay. Because it was literally like they took Lucas and Lukey's seats off of the plane because God forbid you name someone after their dad. God forbid.
Well, honestly, I don't have a son, and my father-in-law, who is no longer with us, I told
Was
that
it
man
Kenny?
was a Ken. Yeah, he was Ken, and then he gave me Kenny the second, and I told him straight up at Christmas once, I was like, "There's not gonna be a Ken the third," and he was like, "That's fine," and then he went and died on me, you know,
That's
and I'm like, did I
rude.
even have to tell him? Did I even have to tell him?
You made yourself look bad for nothing. You could have been like, I can't wait for Kenny Jr.
But then once he passed away, I said, thanks a lot, Ken. And now we get his mail. And we got and my husband. So I could have told you this. If we met as younger friends.
Problems.
It's problematic because we have to call Social Security and say, yeah, that Ken has no longer with us. We have to make that call because they wanted to name each other this. They wanted to matchies.
Well, here I am being screwed
I had logic there.
Well, I didn't meet you in time, and I messed up, and I named my son after my husband.
It's an adorable name. We get it.
Now we can't travel together, apparently, without us getting kicked, half of us getting kicked off of a flight.
It's
so
also
I'm like,
a health insurance thing.
It's everything. Everything's an issue about it. I like legally should just change his name to Lukey because that's what he goes by anyways.
So I now, as a healthcare professional, I see people that are like Matthew and they're Matt, and they did that. They were always Matt, and they changed it because I'm like, that's interesting that your family named you Matt, and they're like, oh no, I just got my legal name changed to Matt.
More power to the Matts.
Yeah, and that was
honestly,
just a random name.
Honestly,
nobody called the police.
I don't want to give any more power to the Matts. Actually,
any more power to the Matts. I think they're the most powerful. I literally just thought of that name out of nowhere because they're the most powerful.
Literally, and I'm gonna put a pin in that.
But you literally named them the same name, and now you're like trying to get legal documents onto a flying.
We almost didn't make it to Punta Cana. By the time we make it,
Daddy Donald's gonna make it easier to get on the planes. We're all excited. We're all looking forward to it.
I can't wait. We make it to the all-you-can-eat buffet, by the international cuisine of the Dream Onyx Resort. It's like 10:30 p.m. and we're just quietly, shoving mashed potatoes into our mouths. And so we're washing off this day, but this was our anniversary, so we're like, at some point during this week, we have to do a redo because that's the thing with being a millennial. You have blended families, you have in-laws. You just are like, Christmas is when I say it is,
Yeah. Well, also, don't act like a redo isn't like, just second nature to us as millennials.
Exactly.
Because, everything that we've ever wanted has been ruined. And we're always just like, we'll do it a different time, in a different way.
Another time would be better then.
Another time, another way, 6 feet apart, whatever you want.
The amazing thing is my sister decided to invite most of my babysitters, literally everybody except you. If anything, you should actually be mad at her for not bringing you. So one of the days, Court has a bunch of her close friends, our friends there, and one couple has kids, but they did not bring them with them, which was a beautiful moment for them, I'm sure. And then the other ones did not have kids. So Court is having her honeymoon time, but hanging with the group, and Court's friends come over to me and they're like, you guys need to go have a dinner out together. We'll take the kids. We'll order room service. You guys go have dinner. You need this, blah, 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 blah. So at first, it's just 3 or 4 of the aunts. I'm calling them all aunts because they're all just he's cool friends. Now, Nora is thinking these are her friends. I don't know if she's considering them aunts at this point because she was like, hey, Taylor, walking through. Yeah.
They're her fellow bridesmaids.
They're her fellow bridesmaids. So she's very first name basis with them at this point. So I get a video and Court's like, I might stop in. They might just, me and Tyler might go have dinner to ourselves, but we'll pop in and see if they're okay. I get a video. My kids are poolside with, I'd say it was like a 12-2, so a 6-1 ratio of adults to child. And
you can't get that even at the private schools.
You can't get that at the $40,000 a year elementary schools. So they are literally eating room service spaghetti by the swim up pool. Nora has matching braids with one of Courtney's friends' husbands. They do not even remember they have parents. Luke and I are having a meal alone. And it was just, like you said, it was one of those moments where I was like, this is what life is all about. Like, they had the best time. We had the best time. We got to have our kind of like anniversary vacation time. And even though it was a couple of hours, like, it was all we needed to just kind of like get ourselves back and reset, get on a good step. And the kids had such a good time. And I was just like, I was so appreciative because, like, you don't want to be the people that, travel with your kids on vacation, but then are always like, who's going to take my kids?
Yeah, nobody wants to be those people.
No. And I do like to travel with my kids, but to have a minute to step away and just to have some time was so cool, and I was just super appreciative. And it was just one of the highlights of the trip for probably the kids even more so than Luke and I.
I love that. And as I get older and like as our kids get older, I'm like, I would love to like go on a trip, just Kenny and I, because we really haven't had that. Like a just like sit in the sun, the two of us. But like you said, as we get older, I remember being younger, like I said, and having to leave a 10-day relaxing resort. Like, I was probably getting a spa. I probably got a massage, because I was like, oh,
you have the sunburn lines.
Like, junior year is really hard, like, whatever. And I'm like kicking and screaming as I leave this 10 days of total relaxation, eating French toast with my toes in the water, And as you get older, I don't think that those experiences, like, they're not going to happen the same way, but you're so appreciative to get a glimpse at that, to get hours, that you leave that vacation, you're like, I'm so thankful that we got
Luke and
that
I
one
were actually,
dinner.
no, that's
Like,
honestly, that's so true.
Because you're like, I'm so refreshed.
We grabbed our kids, right? We're like, we're so sorry that we did that to you.
Like, we're
Thank
actually
you so much.
We don't even have wrinkles anymore, like we're so relaxed. Like,
we literally are just crying. I just heard Lucas say thank you one too many times. I'm like, we're overselling it. They're never gonna take these kids again.
Even if they gave us free massages, we would turn them down because we're so relaxed.
So thankful.
We wouldn't
want to be more relaxed than we are now. It would just be too relaxed.
Like, we'll pack our bags and leave the island now. We're done. Our vacation's done. But like, I also feel like that's because my daughter is like itching to get to the next vacation, the next thing, the next, like, we just said July's over, like, bye July.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah. But it's because we're like planning and chasing the next thing all the time. And when you're on vacation, you are so quick to like eat up the time because you're planning things. You're trying to walk 100 miles in a day across a Disney park. You're trying to make sure everyone's happy. And your kids are just eating it up in a way that it feels like time is moving so quickly.
Yes.
As we get older, we're able to sit at a dinner for 2 hours and realize that this is the whole point. This is the whole point video. This is enough. You guys got to reconnect. You literally sent me a picture and you were like, I went on a date with my husband. I was like, bravo.
Literally.
Bravo.
It was so nice. Him and I just had like a nice time, and I feel like it has been 7 years of us being married and 12 years of us being together, and honestly, the time that we have alone is probably the least it's ever been, throughout our relationship at this point in our lives, because we're both working. We have 2 kids that are very dependent on us. Like, it's just very nonstop. So like you said, when you get 2 hours, you're like, that's enough. Like, I have nothing else to say to you.
And it's not always going to be 2 hours on a beach at an all-inclusive,
You're
but
not always going to bring you mimosas.
It's not always going to be like that, but like, it might be like 45 minutes on the way home from that errand that you guys had to do, just the two of you, and like in a freaking Taco Bell parking lot where
more
you
often
decide,
than not, it will be
we're
that.
not gonna run home to those little assholes right now. We're gonna take 2 minutes to be us, like, and laugh and like decompress, because it does make you feel as refreshed as you did when you were 16 and you had those braids in your hair and you were hanging out with your cool ass.
Exactly.
Like, it's the melted down mom version of that. So I take comfort in that right now.
I did have to face one of my biggest fears, which, as you know, I have like a major issue with public bathrooms, but specifically wet ones. But they're bringing you, Shirley Temple's poolside, pina coladas, a Mai Tai, whatever you'd like. And
So
I'm swimming.
You know my take on this with you in the bathrooms and the water parks and
What is
the
it?
things. Is that, and I'm a nurse, okay? Okay.
Oh my God, you're gonna go. Just say it. Just say it.
Anywhere that you are in that resort, you should assume that it is as dirty as that bathroom floor. Because
Lauren.
although you are not traipsing your little feet, there are so many people. There are people that will wear shoes in the pool.
It's more
Doesn't
concentrated.
matter.
I'm so
Doesn't
grossed
matter.
out
A swab's
right
a
now.
swab. A culture is a culture.
You could have kept that to yourself. You could
That
have
shall
kept
grow
that to
on
yourself.
a petri dish the same.
The same. It'll get A to B one way or another. It does
Use
something to my
standard
head.
precautions all the time.
It does the same thing that like cotton does to you is being in a wet bathroom.
Yeah.
I didn't think I for a portion of the time I was trekking it back to my room. To every time I had to go to the bathroom because I couldn't do it. Well, I faced my fears.
You did.
I went in the bathroom.
Good job.
I hated it. It was honestly probably best case scenario because there was just people cleaning it constantly and I still had like the heebie-jeebies afterwards, and even talking about it now I feel like my shoulders are rising. But I did it and I was like, I have my kid, you know, in and out of these toilets. Caution to the wind. She doesn't care. I'm like, I need to get 10% of that in me right now so that I don't have to break my leg going back to that room again.
Yeah.
That's what got me there.
Honestly, I like your logic there. And yeah, if you got your kid in the bathroom, you're not safe. You're not safe.
I'm not exactly
from
that's
whatever's growing in there. And like I said, I just feel like you have to assume that nobody is using any form. You saw those COVID maps, okay? People were not washing their hands.
You can't
They
unsee
lied
it.
about washing their hands for a little bit, and they're not washing their hands again. So you have to assume everybody is the enemy when it comes to bacteria.
Now, I know you're like a water person, but are you a water park, like water slide, lazy river? Do you like a water attraction?
So I just love a pool. You saw me. You saw my handstands and my back bends.
I saw your feet. I saw like your knees down at my mom's pool.
I was like, Stephanie, watch me do this trick.
I was like, shut up.
Literally, I think most of my pool experiences were like my parents like drinking on the outsides of the pool on vacation, being like, do another trick. So I do a lot of tricks.
So I discovered
I
like to swim, Lauren.
I love to swim.
So it was
Give
the
me
perfect
a zero
combination.
entry pool, and I pretend I'm Moana. Like
exactly. So the best part, because I hate when you go to a public pool and people are on top of you, because that's never going to be a good time for me.
That's when it becomes like the public watering hole, you know.
It's icky. This was like most of the rooms had swim up pools. So even the main pools weren't overly congested. Like it was a good time. Well, once I got like an open lane, I was kicking around like I was like I don't even know. I turned into a child again. I started having holding your breath contests. I was knocking people out of the park, Lauren. Everybody was impressed by me. I was like, people would try to talk to me and I was like, and the trick, and I'm sure you know it because I know you're a fellow pool gal, is that you have to anchor yourself really against the edge of the pool with your wrist under the side so that you can really conserve energy and you're not trying to hold yourself underneath the whole time. You're just like this.
If you just slowly exhale, though, you kind of just sink to the bottom.
Well, that's on you.
Honestly, the real trick is growing up with a brother who just
tried to
choke
drown
slams you underwater the whole time.
So literally,
I'd honestly love to challenge you. I'd love to challenge you.
We will have to have a breath holding contest
at your mom's. We'll have your mom referee it.
We'll have her make sure no one's cheating because I was having these contests. My dad was getting all excited. He was like, "Go against your sister," you know. So me and Courtney are like, you know, just trying not to
pretend. It's our honeymoon.
We're literally flipping back on our backs, backwards, but
I remember doing that.
My kids were loving it too, so it was just so relaxing. Like, I don't remember the last time I just swam around with my parents, like just being silly.
Also, as a parent who has so many intrusive thoughts about water safety and promotes water
Yes.
safety like it's her damn job, I played a lot
Yes.
of Dead Man's Float, okay? As
I won't
growing
even
up.
I won't even teach Nora about that because I'm so
No, that should
scarred.
be X'd from the culture. That is not a good game.
It's done. It's done.
Like, and if you did that, you probably whacked 10 years off your mother's life. So good job. Good job,
So
everyone.
obviously, as you could imagine, and as Nora did to you in my mom's pool, she corralled all of her new friends around the swim up bar. She said, "Put down your daiquiris. We're doing diving contests." And it's literally, my sister and all her almost 30-year-old friends just competing for Nora's approval of like
I
good
love
form.
that.
They have braids in their hair. They are doing belly flops. Like, she was quite literally living her best life. And then you pan over to Lukey, who's sitting at a swim up table eating a virgin daiquiri, hopefully, with his hands in a pool. And it was just, I don't know. I have so many stories, but at the end of the day, it was just like a nice, relaxing, fun, good time.
I'm happy for you. You truly
know?
deserved it. And I feel like you came home like a damn whirlwind. And
I
then
did.
you've been cycloning around ever since. But you have been to my house a couple of times since you got home.
have.
And I have one thing to report. You left half a pack of wipes at my house, sucker.
Stop. You're so welcome for that. You're so
And
welcome
this
for
is
that.
honestly,
That's
is
the one thing you're not
rolling-
giving back.
Oh, this is rolling off of my treating wipes like they're cigarettes for moms campaign. If you
Behind it.
find wipes, you steal them like the bum you are, okay?
100%.
I hope to pay you back someday accidentally. But when
And
I
you
saw it,
will.
I said I'm going to Steph's tomorrow. I could bring it. And honestly, I wouldn't remember them even if they were near the
No.
door with your sister's wedding card that's still sitting there. I'm like, to the Constantinos.
Yeah, they're so excited about it.
I'm like, literally, I should just mail it to their new house at this point. But it's still there. So I could put your wipes there, but I said,
You
you know
could,
what?
but you wouldn't.
Steph did this to her damn self. She did this to herself and she
Are you
deserved
teaching
it.
me a lesson?
I'm teaching her a lesson.
Wow. No, but
So-
honestly, that's so fair. I feel like the second someone leaves a wipe at my house, like, it's mine. It's
Oh, yeah.
mine.
Lasky literally had something on her hands and was like, ooh, Target. These ones aren't mine. I was like,
I
was
have,
like, I'll take this.
I want to bring this because it's just been an ongoing thing. I'm starting to think that I have like a Eliza Thornberry thing going on recently. I had my moth encounter, right? I found that baby chicken. What else
Yeah.
happened to me? I had other animals come to me. Well, lo and behold, we're in the
Baby too.
Dominican. I'm just minding my own business, just dangling a toe in the pool in the, wee hours of the night, and I go to reach back for my water, and I pick it up, and there's just a hitchhiking little snail friend over there, and he's all like, very excited to see me.
Beautiful snail.
He was gorgeous. And when I tell you that everybody became so invested in this snail's well-being that we were like, he became the talk of the town. Like, we just were like, I'm trying to remember what his name was. I feel like it was like Armand, but it wasn't. I forget what it was, but he was very regal. He was eating this piece of lettuce that we had gotten from room service, and we were just like, this is the thing. And then I walk over elsewhere, a little lizard comes by, a large
I
lizard
love
comes
a little
by.
lizard.
I think I have like some kind of spiritual animal thing that I'm gonna try to be tapping into, trying to connect with the animals.
First of all, I love a tropical lizard, and I
You are a
learned
tropical
from my
lizard.
I am a tropical lizard. I learned from my foremothers, aka my Nana. We used to go and visit her when she would snowbird into the south, as we do.
Yes.
Us Northeast ladies, when our arthritis and our emphysema kicks in, we have to go south
I'm gonna be
And
45.
when I would visit my Nana and she would pen pal me, we would go and feed the squirrels near where she
Yes.
lived, and then we'd feed the little lizards, and then she'd send
The
me
little
pictures
lizards.
of the little lizards and the squirrels when I was up north. You know, you'd flat Stanley your grandparents. You'd be like, send
Of
me
course
back
I
Flat
do.
Stanley.
Make Flat Stanley great again, actually. That was like the best thing ever that
I
the public
loved
school
Flat
system
Stanley.
did.
So yeah, so she was like my little woodland creature foremother, but me and Kenny, well, Kenny more so, had this whole bit that goes right at you. It's he literally didn't come on the pod, but we had a side pod where he was
Oh.
like, "What if we went to Tractor Supply and we bought
Stop
6
it.
chicks?"
Stop.
And we just played with them. He's like, we just played with them, but like we don't want chicks, you know. Like, and he's like, what if we just put them
Stop
in
it.
Steph's coop, and then
So that
she'll have the fucking complex that she thinks these chicks found her.
it's
My
the perfect
husband
crime.
has you pegged. He was like,
And honestly, he could
was
do
like-
it now with me
he was
knowing
like,
this, and
she'll
I'd be like,
these chickens found me. You know, they need me,
They
and she
chose
won't even
me.
realize
pick me,
that.
choose me. They're gonna be like ornate chickens, like different colored chickens, and I'm gonna be like, they're just found me.
And it was literally just like my husband being like MGK in overalls. He just wanted to like take some cool pictures with some chickens and then pawn them off on you.
Literally, and make me think that I was literally, and that would have obviously fed into that complex
He's
so
like,
severely.
He's like, we're too punk rock for chickens, but what if we had them for one day and then we dropped them off with a whole simple life over there?
I am just the right amount
With
of punk
Nicole
rock for
Richie.
chickens. I'm literally
What
Nicole
if
Richie.
we dropped him off with Nicole over there?
I still have my Monroe piercing scar. That's how you know I'm just emo enough to have
But
chickens.
it really would have fed your
I-
animal god complex
if
in the
I
wrong
came
way.
to the podcast today and had to then also say that I found 6 chickens. Like I would be like selling lives on TikTok, you know?
But I'm too good of a friend, so we can't do that to her. We can't do it. I
We
won't
can't
it.
do it to her. My sister.
I had to be there for Stephanie.
You had to. You had to.
But so you don't have. You would have loved having 6 more chickens, though. You're
I
probably
would
mad
have.
at me.
I would have made it work. I would have made it work. And honestly, I probably have more things to talk about the trip, but for today, I think that's about all, folks. Right?
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.